Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Tony Nation with the Actors Connection InterAct webinar, and I'm thrilled to have in today Michelle Cutolo. Michelle, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Michelle is an associate casting director with Brette Goldstein Casting. And Michelle, if you'd like to tell our viewers just a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. I've been working for Brette Goldstein Casting for over 3.5 years now. I actually met Brette here in her 5-week class, which I recommend to everyone. I started off as an actor and then saw what Brette was doing, and I was like, I want to be on that side. So I asked her for an internship, turned into a full-time job, and here we are almost 4 years later.
So that's fantastic. And you know, you guys cast so many projects. What's been the project that you've been like, this is my favorite thing that we've worked on so far? And I know you've got a lot, but maybe some favorites.
The one that we're working on right now, we have two. One is a series and the other one is a pilot. I know it's not pilot season, but we're working on a pilot right now. They're both comedy. I don't know if I could say the name of it yet, but really interesting characters. A lot of people from the New York comedy world are in this, so we're super excited to work on some comedy because recently we've been working on some Lifetime shows. It's a lot of drama. We love it, but it's cool to work on another project now that's a little out there with big costumes and in the comedy world. So
nice.
It's exciting.
Is it period drama with big costumes or just big costumes in the way of?
Like physical I don't even know how to describe it. It's really innovative and new. I haven't seen anything else like this before.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there are these characters that are animals that come to life. It's interesting. Yeah,
fantastic.
It's really cool. Everyone will see, you know, when we put the breakdowns out and whatnot. So,
okay, fantastic. Question for you, because I think I know the answer to this, but you guys also did Donnie on USA. You cast the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Anything happening with that at all?
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Still waiting.
Oh, fun.
Still waiting to hear.
Fantastic.
So
And
we'll see.
Donnie Dorch is hysterical, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, let's get into questions. We've got quite a few, and the first one is from Ethan Levita. And Ethan asks, what are some ways to get your materials to really pop amongst 3,000 plus submissions you receive for projects? What are some common denominators that get people in the room?
I'm trying to think, going through all of our submissions, what stands out the most? Obviously credits, that's kind of an easy one. But things that make people stand out, I would say, you know, even when people don't have the strongest of resumes, I'm a big advocate of watching everyone's reel because, you know, even though if it's not a guest star on a huge network show or whatnot, if I see an amazing audition tape, even if it's in front of a wall and it's not from an actual project, if I see really good work, you're going to come into the room regardless of what's on your resume. Yeah. So can't speak for every casting office, but at least for us, reels are kind of a big thing for me personally.
That's good. How long, as far as a reel, how long should that reel be?
Around 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
And what about clips? Do you like looking at clips?
I like clips as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really have a preference one way or another, clips versus reels. But sometimes it is easier if you have the clips broken down that this is my comedic work, this is my dramatic work. And then for your reels, definitely put your best stuff at the beginning. I always recommend that to people because, you know, you're going through thousands and thousands. So sometimes, you know, you have a really good clip right at the front. It's really all we need to see. And then you get a slot. Yeah. You know,
so I get to bring broad in. So awesome. Okay, cool. Very good. Also, headshots. How do, you know, seeing the headshots up on the screen with the little 1x1s, anything that sticks out to you there?
Anything that sticks out. Well, now that we're doing a little bit of comedy, I've noticed a trend and something that pops out, and now everyone's going to hear it and want to do it. But everyone is doing these pastel backgrounds now, which is like a new trend. So on the page, compared to all the other headshots that usually have natural backgrounds, those are popping nowadays.
The reds, the blues, the greens.
A lot of pastels, actually.
Yellows.
People are doing like pink and powder blue backgrounds, and those seem to be popping out compared to everyone else's. I mean, obviously we're looking for someone that also, looks the part. So there are a lot of things that are out of people's control when it comes to looking at the headshots. But I would say that, I feel like I've said this before, that other trends that are happening right now, I feel like all the work is coming from a very like grounded small place, which translates into your headshots that, we want something that looks like you, that doesn't have a lot of makeup or hair. What helps us the most is having a headshot that looks exactly the way you do when you walk into the room. So that's what I recommend for everyone, no matter what. Just have it be as natural as possible.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. Next question. This is from Rebecca Knowles. Rebecca says, "Hey, Michelle, would love to hear about the best audition you've seen as a casting director. What did that person do that really worked well? What about their audition made it one of your favorite experiences in the room?"
The kids are usually my favorite. Just because not that they don't care, but they don't hold back, which is what I wish a lot of adults brought into the room. Obviously, the stakes are a lot higher for a 30 to 40-year-old versus a 7-year-old who, is just happy to play outside. But I would say that my favorite auditions are the ones with actors that are there to have a good time and come in with the same confidence that they leave with. There's so much self-editing that we see in the room. And I always tell people to just leave with a smile, no matter what happens in the room. Those are the best auditions for us, and that's what sticks out for us the most, is someone that is just like, here I am, this is me, go about my day. Because if you have an actor that, self-edits and thinks that they did a horrible job or apologizes, then it'll sometimes change the way that we feel about the audition, because sometimes people will audition and I think it's great, and then someone's really angry at themselves, and it leaves me confused. It leaves the rest of the room confused when we think it's awesome and then they don't. So even if you mess up, like, just leave with that confidence, and it leaves a nice air in the room.
Great
That's what I always
great advice.
Recommend to people.
Awesome. Very good. Next question. This is going to be from Jared. Jared asks, what would you suggest for someone who has little or no experience, no resume or video reel to submit to anyone, but has taken a ton of classes and actually has raw talent and chops? How do they get their foot in the door to get any sort of audition without that material?
I would have to say, obviously, it's a lot easier to get some sort of footage than it is to get credits. Obviously, a lot of time and effort obviously goes into getting more credits on the resume. But I would say, to get into the room, if you can even have a clip of you, obviously not all casting offices would agree with this, but I would at least say for us, if you don't have that much on your resume, or if you don't have a professional reel with all of these different clips from professional gigs that you've done before, just really good work, even if if you're doing it on an iPhone, I recommend doing it this way, not this way. If you have, for people that don't have reels or whatever, I know that you guys have a fantastic service here that you can get a reel done here. But if you have to do it on your phone, just a really good scene and really great chops will get you in the room. So I would say, go on all the different submission websites and whatever you have, put it on there, and then we'll see it. I mean, we go through everything, and the majority of our breakdowns go out onto Actors Access so that everyone can submit. So I literally watch everything.
Oh, wow. Hey, but you got to know who is who out there.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Excellent. Next question. This is going to be from Kelly Alejandra Cutolo, and she asks, "Hello, what projects are you currently casting? What types of roles? Thanks."
Cool. What type of things are we working on right now? Well, we just have we finished up I Love You But I Lied, which was on Lifetime, and we are now starting, I don't believe I could say the title yet. It's the Untitled LMN series, which is another dramatic improv show, which is amazing. all different types of roles, ages, all open ethnicities, people that like drama, I would say, for that show specifically. We also have another pilot that we're doing right now that has I feel like we just do a lot of improv. We do a lot of improv shows. So this pilot is all improv, but it's comedic, and again, all ethnicities, all ages, from, that one's a little older, I would say 25 to 60 for that one. And then for the other series that I was talking about earlier with the crazy characters, because of their costumes, it allows us to really, I know this is so general, but it's just, there's nothing like super specific. I can't say that there's like, you know, women with like red hair at 35. You know, every project, every episode is different. We're doing a lot of episodics right now. So we have, you know, like 10 to 15 roles per episode. So
that's great. And you're looking then for a wide variety, good range. Yeah. Good range.
Yeah. That's what they want. That's what all of the networks are asking for right now. There's not really one specific thing that they're asking, a specific type that they're asking for.
Yeah.
So
cool. Great. Provides lots of opportunity.
Yeah. And then our commercials. I mean, we do commercials all the time.
Yeah.
Like basically one a week. So they're always asking for something different.
Yeah. Different look.
Yeah.
Different type of people that you're seeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question. This is from Mark. I think it's Chuan. And Mark asks, what are your feelings on receiving postcards from actors?
I love postcards. I also love email. Yeah. I would have to say, I love looking at postcards, just giving us updates, new links to new footage. If you guys are on a show, we always go out and see shows. So we like to hear about everything. We want to stalk your lives.
Nice.
Send it along.
Do you, as far as actors letting you know they're in showcases or in shows, do you get ticket offers a lot?
We do.
Okay.
We do. Yeah. So they just tell us where to email for links to comps or whatever, and then we just go.
Yeah.
If it sounds like an awesome project and if we're free.
Yeah.
So we love going out there and seeing new stuff.
But again, that's really good because this is your job to know who is out there. And when you have projects that are casting immense amounts of people.
Right. We need to see everyone.
Definitely.
We need to know who's out there. So send your stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is an interesting question. This is from Corey Eileen Solar. What is a good way to restart an acting career after a 5-year hiatus? Being a bit older now, I can't rely on monologues from the past. Thank you.
Yes, monologues are not really alive anymore. At least in our rooms. I mean, we have a lot of sides, and because we're doing so much improv, people are doing scenarios in the scene and in the room and just doing scenes with a partner, improvising. So I would say for someone that took a 5-year hiatus, improv is in high demand right now. So I would definitely recommend going to any of the studios that are here in Manhattan and get into the improv.
Yeah. You got to work those muscles, I always think.
Yeah, especially commercially. You know, people are always asking you, like, you know, do it your own way and whatnot. So I would say that is definitely the biggest change within the last 5 years, and also now getting that reel and a website and getting your name out there. I know that probably 5 years, I feel like there's been so many changes since even when I started working with Brette until now, that everyone needs a website. Everyone needs to be Googleable. That even if it's just a page with your contact info, your headshot, resume, and it's super simple, bare bones, that's fine. It's really fine, but everyone needs it. We need to figure out a way to contact you. So yeah.
This is your business of you.com, and if you're not searchable, that's a problem. You are your own CEO of your business.
Times are changing. You're now your brand, and you need to get it out there. That I would say that's the newest thing. Yeah. So, hope that's helpful.
Oh, it is very. Next one. This is from Emily Dietrich. Emily asks, hey, Michelle and Tony, do you have any suggestions on how to get into auditions with casting directors when you don't have an agent and you have no experience, when you have experience but no equity points or AEA SAG membership?
Submit.
Yeah.
Just submit.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no harm in doing that. I know that, not everyone's projects are on, Actors Access and Casting Networks, Casting Frontier, different sites like that. But I feel like they're great resources to use just to build up your resume so that when you come to Actors Connection, when you're meeting different agents, you could show them what you've gotten on your own then, they'll be happy with that, hopefully take you on and then get you into those offices that are a little bit more difficult to get into.
Yeah.
But I would say just keep submitting yourself for everything.
Yeah. Great advice.
Everything that you can.
Yeah. And I always think also if you are not getting called in for anything, then you got to look at your business tools. Look back to your headshot.
Mm-hmm.
If you have something online, then as far as video reference from clips to demo, you need to really look at that, because if the material's not good,
right,
poor quality, it's not showing you in the best light,
right,
you need to update. You need to do something that really shows your best work.
Yeah, this is true. 100%.
Great. Next question. This is again from Rebecca Knowles. And Rebecca asks, can you walk us through a typical audition at your office from start to finish? How many people are usually in a casting session? Associates, assistants, readers? Do you submit tapes to producers, or do they want to see us in person? Will you give adjustments? Thanks so much.
Cool. Okay, so from the beginning, I guess, we get hired for something. They tell us what they need. We send out a breakdown, go through. In our office, we do it a little old school. We also have our paper files in addition to our breakdowns, all the submissions that come in through there. So we go through absolutely everything. I would say on average, obviously it's different for every project, but I would say on average we are seeing anywhere from 50 people in the room to could be up to 150 if it's a commercial and people are coming in groups. And then inside the room, it is Brette and myself. Sometimes it's just her, sometimes it's just me, depending on if we're splitting, because we're working on 2 different projects, or we have 2 sessions at the same time. And then we have a bunch of assistants that work with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're running camera. We have a reader in the room if there are sides. But usually if you're coming in for an improv audition, you're going to be coming in with another actor that's also auditioning. So that way we can get as many people auditioning and in the room as possible. So I feel like we've been doing it a long time now, seeing 2 people at the same time. And we like it that way. It keeps it interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to see what else.
Will you give adjustments in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the majority of the time. But not always. If we see an improv that's really good and you hit all the points that we needed to see, we won't necessarily ask you to do it again because we're happy with what we saw.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So, and then we do submit tapes to our client, and then they watch everything. We use a software that is basically able to give our clients basically a live feed of what's going on in the room. So sometimes they want to see everyone, sometimes they just want to see selects. It depends on the client. Yeah. And then self-tapes are always welcome, except for if they're always welcome from us, but sometimes the directors and producers want to see the people in the room. Yeah. So sometimes you'll submit for an initial audition, and then we'll take a look at it and then have you come into the room for callbacks.
Nice.
So
now, could you also give our viewers some tips on self-tapes, because you guys see a lot?
Mm-hmm.
What are things you love that people do, and what are things that you feel actors could do better?
I would say the quality of your camera is very important. If you have to use a phone, again, always do it horizontally versus vertically, because your head just becomes that much smaller. If you can do it on not a professional camera, but some sort of DSLR, that's usually preferred. Lighting is very important. Sometimes we have people recording from their computer or a laptop, which is fine if that's all you have, but lighting is very important. Hopefully your face is not just lit from the actual screen. Usually what I recommend people to do is, I'm looking at the window now, that if you can face a window, natural lighting always looks best for any actor that's self-submitting. So even if you can set up your phone or your camera, whatever you have, in front of a window, or so that you're facing the window, that usually makes people look best. And if you have a nice clean wall behind you that just has a solid color, that looks great.
You know, it's that thing of stick to basics. Keep
Yeah,
it simple.
keep it very simple.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you don't have to overthink it. Do your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene is what is most important. So if it can just be you in front of a plain wall
Yeah.
and we can see your face, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're good. And then
Yeah.
did you also mention sometimes, because I see it where the reader is too loud?
Usually because they're closer to the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's always the thing. Make sure your reader reads kind of like underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's a very good point.
Let's see. Next question actually kind of goes into some of this, but it's from Hillary Greer.
Cool.
Hillary asks, "Hi, Michelle and Tony. Do you really watch slate shots if the person has clips and reels submitted, or are they just to get to the top of the pile? If you do watch them, what are some of the best and worst? Also, speed reels versus clips, which do you prefer, or is it simply how it is described on the Actors Access page in terms of what you need for casting? Thanks so much."
It's a loaded question.
There's a lot of stuff there. Yes.
I would. Okay, so the actors, the slate shot. Yes, it's good if we, want to get to know your personality a little bit before getting into the room. Me personally, can't speak for everyone again, but I would say that the clips and the reels are more important to me than a slate. I also recommend not necessarily having a montage in the beginning of those reels and clips, just because I would say that the majority of casting folk want to just get right to the meat of a scene between you and someone else. So I would say that is what's most important, and we definitely watch all of it. And I would say that some casting directors do prefer having it split between comedic and dramatic, just so that if it's comedic, they have, sketches and whatnot that you're in. I'm trying to read what else is. A speed reel, I'd rather just watch one scene than a speed reel. Yeah. Because if I'm seeing you have like 3 or 4 lines with someone else, I don't really know if you can carry a scene from that. You're just kind of taking like the best of it. I'd rather see how the entire scene plays out. Sure. Personally. Yeah. And yes, usually on Actors Access, from our end, they usually ask what we would like to see. So if it says in there specifically what they're asking for, it is coming from the casting director. It's not coming from Actors Access. That I don't really know how it shows up on the other end, but I would think that some casting directors will specifically say that they want to see a clip versus a reel. I think that some people will be specific with that, and if it does say that, it's coming from the casting director. So I'd follow whatever they say.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very good advice. Excellent. We're going to get into some speed rounds now, Michelle, just so we get through all of our questions. And next one is from Isaiah. He says, "I was wondering how much the look of an actor influences your casting decisions in comparison with their acting ability, or are there other factors that are more important to you?"
Look-wise versus, for me, talent is number one in the room. I would have to say that that's for both Brett and I, that, the way that you look definitely plays into it, especially if we're looking for a family or things like that, where people generally have to look similar. But I'd say that talent wins. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing also is there are a lot of incredible actors out there, and there are going to be a lot of people coming in the room giving amazing auditions. And that's when it just comes down to whose audition, whose feel is better for the role, whose look is better for the role. That's how things get filtered down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Next question is from Lenora Smith.
Mhm.
Are there any roles available for plus size models, such as myself?
Of course. Oh,
Excellent.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. We take all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
We love everyone.
Yeah, and I think even now with plus size models being, more prevalent than ever, I think
Mhm.
you're seeing that in television and films. So look at, gosh, there's so many people out there who I start thinking of as far as Spy, Ghostbusters,
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy for one,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
also the other actress in Ghostbusters.
Leslie.
Yes.
What is Leslie's last name?
Yes.
Don't kill me. Leslie.
Yes.
Leslie. I
Yes, we
don't
know what we're talking
remember
about.
her last name. But yes, they are both amazing.
Yeah.
I would also have to say that, going back to the trends of, headshots being you and very plain, simple, going to different acting techniques that are very popular right now, like the improv. It's like we want to see real people. We want
Yeah.
to see real acting, real headshots,
Yeah.
So I feel like what's real is in,
hmm
no matter what shape or size.
Oh yeah. It's, it comes down to you have to be authentic.
Yeah,
That's really it, to be authentic and you to be present.
yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Next question. This is from Anne, and Anne asks, what's the best way to quickly get some video content made for viewing by casting directors and agents? I've heard that a very simple slate shot video is not very helpful.
Right, because if I'm correct, the slate shot is just you talking about yourself, correct?
That's correct. It's just a simpler intro of, hi, my name is Tony Nation, and
Right.
Yeah.
Those are good, but again, everyone has an iPhone.
Yeah.
So just put a scene
Yeah.
on your iPhone or come to Actors Connection and just put yourself on tape. And I mean, you guys have the whole setup here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would recommend just come here and get it done in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what's most important, because you guys kind of take over all the technical stuff, for you guys, pick the scene that makes you look awesome and then leave it to the professionals to
Yeah.
make you look good.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely, that's, we have, again, several different services here, not to do a commercial, but just really quickly, we offer self-tape auditions where you can come in if you have an audition that you can't be in the room and you need to actually self-tape it. We do it actually for 30 minutes, is $40. We provide the studio, a reader. They will give you feedback if you want it. And then from there, we'll edit your clip that you picked to actually send on to casting. We'll put a title card in. We'll do whatever the instructions are that the casting director has asked for. If you're looking actually to record a scene, we can do the same thing. So it gives you some sort of material up on Actors Access. And then if you really want to have the look of a demo reel, create clips, we have a class which is called Developing Your Film and TV Demo Reel. It helps you to get at least 2 scenes to start off with. We film on location, so technically they're short films. They're given to you to edit, and you go from there. So those are the services that we offer here. Pretty cool.
They're great.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So again, we're run by actors. We understand what actors are looking for and the needs of the actor today.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This is from Carolyn. Carolyn says, I'm looking for some comedy monologues for my 9-year-old son. Can you recommend specific resources for kids? Thanks.
It's the worst question for me.
My answer would be Google it.
Google.
You'll actually find information, and you'll find monologues on there if you put that in there.
Yeah.
And people will be giving you advice as far as what they would use. And then if you don't find anything, go to a monologue coach. People like Brian O'Neill here in the city, excellent. They have a ton of monologues that they've just acquired over the years. So check in with somebody like that.
Yeah, I remember back years ago when I first came here and I was looking for monologues, I was just going to the drama bookshop and asking people for like a specific type of character that I was trying to play. And then they would recommend different plays, and I would read them and then pick from there. I would also make sure to prepare to have a scene at the ready for your son as well, and just something from a film or a TV show that you think he could have been cast in.
Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. And our kids and teens acting program here at Actors Connection provides things like that as well. You can always check in with Waleed at actorsconnection.com and he'll help you out.
I was with them yesterday.
Oh,
It was super
fantastic.
fun.
That's awesome. Next question. This is a short one. Cassie asks, do you look at out-of-state actors for projects or only local hires?
It depends on the project, but I would say that the majority are only local hires. But I mean, you can be in a different state and do a self-submit and still be considered a local hire technically if you have someone to stay with, if you have a relative or whatnot. So if you're here for the callback and you can be here for the shoot dates, I mean, we don't discriminate if you're awesome.
And, and sometimes getting that type of credit can just help you in your career to take a huge leap forward. So it's worth, even if you have to spend some money, to get the credit on your resume, because it can suddenly leapfrog you.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are going down to Atlanta now and getting representation.
Nice.
And then I have another friend who I think they did House of Cards down there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, she got a co-star role, and she did it, and another thing on her resume.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. Atlanta's cool.
That's really good advice.
Yeah, why not?
Next question. We're doing final time for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So next question, this is from Tom Nacy Warner, and he says, what is the best way to determine your type? I know that sounds simple, but...
Type. I hate that one. Type. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't tell anyone what your type is. I think that when you're looking at, I'm sure you're regretting more when you're looking at breakdowns and what to actually submit for. I would hope that in the breakdowns it gives some sort of, description of the character. And if you feel that you can play that or on a personal level can relate to that, I would submit. But I wouldn't typecast yourself and say, I can only play this, or this is what I do. I think that you can, if you're talking to agents or casting directors, you can say that you like to do drama versus comedy. But I wouldn't go super specific. I mean, one thing that you can probably talk about is whether you're also blue collar versus white collar.
Yeah.
That's a type. But I wouldn't tell anyone what your type is. Let the casting director, let the agent figure out what you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
Very good. Next question. This is, let's go down here. This is from Isabel. Mm-hmm. Isabel asks, Actors Connection has tons of classes and seminars. Do you like to see these listed on a resume, especially if one has taken many of them and the list is getting a bit long?
I would say if you're going to put any of them on your resume, which you totally can, I would say keep on the people that you have stayed in contact with. Because, there may be a casting director that you met here and she brings you in for every single project. And then maybe there's another one where you email back and forth, but, if someone asked about you, maybe they wouldn't remember right at the drop of a hat. You know what I mean? So I would say the people that you really built a relationship with so that I can call them up and be like, hey, do you know so-and-so? What is their work like if I don't have your reel or whatnot? I would say those are the people I want to see on the resume that will know you by your name and your work.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally. Next question. This is from Roland Max. What are your thoughts regarding actors with natural accents?
I like natural accents. That's totally fine. Obviously, for some projects, they're going to ask for no accent, maybe a southern accent, northeastern accent. I would just say that if you have a natural accent, that's great. Just talk to the casting director when you walk into the room, though, and hopefully you can have the American accent as an option. Because you'd be surprised. Some people will be like, oh, that would be a really cool element that we're, or a cool layer that we're going to add on to this character.
Yeah.
So they may not be opposed to it, but I would be prepared to do both and then just ask in the room what they prefer.
I think it only gives you more opportunity if you can turn it off and turn it on.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, cool. Next question. This is from Jared. Jared says it can be discouraging knowing you don't have a ton of experience versus most other people. Can you speak to that?
just keep doing your thing. Don't worry about other people.
Yeah.
Don't worry at all. Just focus on yourself and your work, and make sure that you're getting in front of casting directors and agents, and just doing everything that you can, because it doesn't matter what other people are doing. You know, no matter who you are, there's always going to be 100 people that are better than you, 100 people that are prettier than you, smarter than you, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just focus on you.
Yeah. Be focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even celebrities and stars. There
yeah.
so many people that are better than they are.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's a great way to view it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love what you do. Next question. This is from Phyllis. Quick and easy. How often do you see non-union actors for your projects?
All the time. Every single project.
Cool.
Yeah. There will be sometimes when we have to work on non-union projects. Obviously, we cannot see SAG actors at that point. But because then we'll be teasing client. But we always see non-union actors. Every single job that's SAG, because we want you guys to get your waivers and to become part of the union.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Great.
So.
Next question. This is, let's see, it's in there. What's the best way, this is from Adam Desir, he says, what's the best way to get big time auditions for TV and film productions?
I would say big time auditions. I would have to say meeting the casting directors and working with your agents, telling your agents what you're looking for career-wise. If you feel that you're ready to, you know, go into those big time auditions, tell them that that's what you want. I think that communication between you and your agent is really, really important. And they're the ones that are going to help you get into the room for those really big projects.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also, I always think of this as being it's career building 101, and you've got to start at a certain place. And granted, if you're younger, you can sometimes leapfrog and be seen for leading roles. But once you're to a certain age, if you're just starting off, you have to kind of build your resume, you have to build your experience, and they're not always going to trust you for a leading role. You might start off with a co-star or a supporting role and then grow from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult going from, you know, a co-star to the lead in a Marvel film.
Yeah.
you gotta go through all the steps to get up there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next question. This is from Zach McGillis. And Zach says, hey, I'm Zach McGillis, the 78-year-old actor. Didn't ask a question before my question was asked. So to begin again, after 25 years, where might I begin?
Okay, so that's kind of like the other question earlier about, you know, taking that 5-year hiatus, and now this would be a 25-year hiatus. I would say probably some new headshots. You probably look different after 25 years. Everyone does. I would say definitely take a look at your resume, and I would, even though it may have been from 25 years ago, if there is a significant project or play that you were in, I would still keep that on your resume. And again, get that footage. Get a scene on a clip and put it on either a website or on a personal website, or when you're submitting it. Because again, obviously you're trying to boost up that resume and build it back up to, I guess, where it was. But congratulations on coming back.
Yeah.
That's what I would have to say. Yeah.
You know, if this is your passion, that's the thing of where you've got to do this as your career, and because you love acting. Yeah. Great. Congrats, Zach.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from Jared. Do you look for people to give information as to why they think they'd be right for a character in an audition?
Yeah, I think that definitely helps. Like on Actors Access and other submission sites, they give you a little tab for a note. And if you played a similar character recently in a play or a show, I would love to know about that. It definitely helps us. It's going to make me click on you faster. Going back to one of those original questions, what makes you click on a profile? if you, even most recent bookings, I would say, you can put on there as well that if you just booked a lead with a similar role in an indie film or whatever, I'd like to know that, because then maybe I can, take a look at your reel and see if there's anything on there that's similar to the role that we are looking for. Or if you know that there's a part in your reel that is similar to the character that we're looking for, just write that in there, like at minute 1.5 or whatever, and then we'll just go right to there and we can see what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like helping them to do their job. That's really important. So give them the information they need.
Yeah.
Excellent. Next question. This is from S. S asks, if a clip link is copied and pasted into the notes section on Actors Access, for example, will you view? Also, how do you feel about improv performance clips? Love it or leave it? Thanks.
Well, yes, if you copy and paste the link, it'll send me right to your Actors Access account. So then I'll be able to see all of the clips that are there. So that's great. Improv performance clips.
Is that the pit where they've done video and they've got clips of that work?
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
definitely. If you're on a team or whatever and you have some footage there, if you think it's awesome, send it.
Cool.
Totally.
Okay, great. Next question. This is from Bridget. Can you discuss audition wardrobe? What do you like and what should we avoid? Finally, can you please explain your idea of business versus business casual for women? Thank you.
Cool. I like this question. So addressing wardrobe, I would say I would recommend that everyone takes a look at the breakdown, takes a look at the role that you're auditioning for, and just pick something that you think this character would wear. Obviously, I do not want you coming into a costume, but if you have something that, hints at what maybe their occupation is, that usually helps us a little bit, especially when you're sending this to network people. I feel like they usually like to see that you look like you're a cop or look like you're a doctor. We've had people come in like those white doctor jackets sometimes, if it's for a doctor. I think it helps. I don't think it's over the top at all.
Yeah.
But if anything, I would suggest overall something very simple. Ladies, don't wear too much jewelry or makeup or, wear the makeup. Wear the makeup. I feel like not enough people wear makeup to on-camera auditions, which does not make any sense to me. Also,
be camera ready.
Yeah, be camera ready. Make sure that your hair is brushed. I know that Brette has a thing with like people washing their hair because it's a thing now that people don't wash their hair as often, and it's one of Brette's pet peeves. So always come into our office with your hair washed. But I would say to avoid, I know that people used to talk about how not to wear patterns because it's so distracting and it also affects the camera. Technology is getting better nowadays, so people can wear patterns. But I think that simple is better overall. And for women, business versus business casual, I would say business is definitely a pantsuit or some sort of jacket versus business casual, where I feel like it would just be a button down and some slacks or slacks with a cardigan with a nice blouse underneath. So business has the jacket, business casual does not have a jacket. I feel like that's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. Fantastic advice.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from Tom Nacy Warner again. How effective is a resume filled with theater credits in the TV and film casting process?
I mean, if you're on Broadway, that's cool. I mean, again, if you're working on some really great plays and stuff, and they're done at great theaters, it'll still get you into the room. If you have things like Rattlestick, Cherry Lane, things like that are not necessarily a Broadway level, but I mean, it's definitely respected,
Mm-hmm.
even on the film and TV side.
Yeah.
So, you have like people like Jesse Eisenberg and Christopher Abbott doing stuff down there. So, you have some film actors that are doing some theater as well. And I feel like, it's fine. It's fine if it's good work, good theater.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Let's just go through real quickly, see if we missed anything on here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is from Victoria Herbert. And she says, in addition to Corey's question, I'd be interested in the same, but for a woman who has produced and starred in her own projects. Necessary steps for comedy and commercials mostly being that all platforms have now changed.
I'm trying to remember what.
I know what Corey's question was too. Yeah.
Right, because it goes away once it's answered.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what Corey's question was, but awesome for producing and starring in your own projects. I feel like everyone's doing that right now, which is definitely, I think it's great because, I mean, like for me personally, why wait for if things aren't happening, if you're not booking things that you're auditioning for, just make it yourself.
Yeah.
The way that, technology is nowadays, everyone, can get access to a camera and editing software. And I totally support people doing their own things. I think it's a great trend now.
Yeah.
Just more content, more awesomeness.
Excellent.
Being out there. So
I
support it.
Cool. Great. And let's see, this is from Gary Fletcher. Gary says, my question has to do with following up with casting directors. I know postcards were mentioned before and that you, Michelle, like emails. How often should we be following up? What's the appropriate amount of time to wait before getting in touch again? How much is too much?
Good question. I would say it's not necessarily a time limit. I would say it's more about what you have to say and what's going on in your career. Because, if you are telling me about an indie film and then a couple of days later you book a guest star on the HBO show, I want to know. So, just make sure that it's something interesting, something that you think I want to know or that I should know. I wouldn't necessarily put a time limit on it. I would say if not much is going on, wait like 3 to 6 months, to let things build up and then give me a blast and let me know what you've been up to.
Yeah. You have something to say, something to sell. Yeah. Cool. Next up, this is from Valerie David. Valerie says, hi, I wrote and performed in a one-woman show that is doing really well. 3 nominations from a recent Manhattan festival. Do you go see solo theater shows? Is this something I can invite you to on its next run? And for others out there, is theater something you'll come out and see with your busy schedule?
Yes, and yes. I see one-woman shows. I love going to see theater, and we make time for it. Yeah, so I'll definitely send me an email.
There you go. Fantastic. Hey, and this last question, this was from Zach McGillis, and this is sort of long. So Zach says, I've been a SAG member since 1965, but I do not look anywhere near 78. So this is kind of back on his other question. I have a PhD. I'm a PhD psychologist in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Probably only Kyle knows where PS is. Okay. My last acting work was a major, starring as defined with Marissa Haggerty, Law and Order, the late Robert Urick's TV series Lazarus Man. So he had actually asked before about coming back into his career. That was just some information in there as well.
Okay, awesome.
Excellent. Cool. So Michelle, thank you so much for being here today and for taking extra time to get through all of our questions.
Of course, yeah.
I'm sure all of our viewers really appreciate it, and we appreciate your time. And guys, if you enjoyed, Michelle's feedback, again, if you would like to connect with her through AC InterAct, you can actually go on to AC InterAct at any time, submit your film and TV demo reel or clips to get Michelle's direct feedback, video feedback on your work. So that's a way to connect with her, to get her familiar with who you are as an actor, and to get her direct feedback. So if you'd like to do that, you can do it at a discount, and you can actually take 20% off with a discount code that will appear in the chat room in just a few minutes. So again, Michelle, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having
Always
me.
appreciated.
Yay.
And we will see you all very soon with our next AC InterAct webinar. All right, have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, guys.